today I'm drinking some tea. I'm gonna try to trick y'all. All right, so what we gonna go today? Today we gotta talk a little bit about the Derrick Rose coming, back to the Knicks and how that's gonna affect some of the other players, and then we gotta talk about the Knicks and the youth movement. So are we gonna try to confuse, getting young players or building winning culture? So let's just get started. So we watched the game the other day with Derrick Rose, and I'm gonna tell you something.
I was shocked. I was trying to call you, but the phone, I guess the service went out.
I don't know.
I think I called you. I think we started talking or something, and I
was charging my phone. Yeah,
I was like, he's hitting shots now. He's different.
Well, he's a rhythm shooter. But here's the thing, because you hear the talk about who's gonna lose a lot of the playing time, and it's not gonna be the guys in the regular rotation, other than Rivers. And then it didn't seem like Burke or Bullock kind of like even out the minutes. It was just Rivers. But down the road, I think Bullock might be solid there because he's like, in our sense, he's a legitimate three. But it's gonna come down to Rivers, which we know might be the odd man out, and then also Burke, because he didn't bring Rose in here to sit him on the bench. He brought Rose in here to solidify us, making that run. So I wasn't upset about it. I kind of felt bad for Rivers, but at this point, he says playing time is tied to how well you play. And Rivers can go through those spells, between turning the ball over and just getting lost in the offense or even making a bonehead play. So, Coach did what he had to do.
Well, I like Rivers, but it is night and day when Derrick Rose dribble around and get around his defender effortlessly.
Yeah.
Said that wrong, but
yeah.
And then when Austin Rivers do it, it's not like you see he's struggling.
Well, yeah, and Derrick is going downhill. So when you're going downhill, that creates movement. But again, with the trade, because they traded DSJ and a late second round pick. Okay, that's. You can say you did that deal for nothing, which is great for us and maybe even good for Detroit. But I look at like the interest that the teams have in Frank and Knox. And then to me, and then I guess it's going to be Rivers also, because they may have to shop Rivers at this point. But to me, the Knicks have to be very, very careful on how they operate with that, because we can't look at, because we're not playing them, and let other teams think that there is no value there. They were starters in this league. Granted, we wasn't winning, but Knox and Frank were starters in this NBA. So that means that right there tell you that there should be some value coming back. And that value just can't be in those second round pick. To me, depending on how you package them off. If you do, I'm not saying I want that, especially with Knox. But if you did that, you have to get back major return, because they bring a value to a team. Knox, if he's on, he could be a sniper. And then Frank, he can guard, really like 1, 2, 3, but basically 1 and 2 a little bit better. But, he's an efficient, defender. So you just can't give them away.
Yeah, we don't talk about Frank much, but I'm kind of confused. I didn't really see him doing nothing wrong, unless he's just not playing the system right. But it seemed like he was hitting his shots. He was taking more shots. Remember, he started dunking on people. He started taking it to the hole. He was playing good defense. He wasn't like explosive, but I didn't see him doing anything wrong for him not to play.
It's not so much what he was doing wrong as what the other guys was doing right. Let's face it. Remember after one of the timeouts when he was passing up shots and then coach was telling him you got to shoot, and then he came out lighting it up. It's like sometimes you can't wait for that.
Quickly is new, but it was the same thing with Quickly. It's like when the season started, he wasn't shooting all the shots.
But his capability is different because of he can dribble right into his shot. So it's like, even though when he wasn't shooting, he still was like getting into the lane and getting fouled and setting somebody up. And it's not even to knock Frank. Frank thing is just like you got to get that motor almost like Knox. His a little bit better than Knox. But you got to get that motor where you grinding, So then we was talking about some of the other trade people to come in, and one was like Oladipo. That's still on the table for discussion. Just as it's different when you're talking about guards. But I think the Knicks, they in the market now that like Tibbs said, he's partial to good players.
Well,
so and then DeRozan,
these are the players they talking about is players that I would like to have as more as better pieces. But as it looks right now, they still doing good to me. Like, they didn't really do nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember what I said, the ball's in their court. They can add and upgrade, just don't take away.
Yeah.
So, as fans, now we're fans. Because when we talk about Knox and Ntilikina, now we're talking about as fans. Because we just like them.
But they have value.
They do have value.
Yeah, they have value.
But I'm not going to sit here and lie like it's not like back in the day feelings with Knox. Ntilikina so much, it's just that like they just playing better than you. Knox is almost like if you don't get it together, there's 1,000 other players that's playing better than you that we could just go get, and you will be a nice package to go get those players.
But it's a shame. It's a shame because we all root for Knox. I mean, everybody wants him to succeed, but again, it's more him.
I mean, every rookie we had don't do good. I know we act like people leave the Knicks and get better, but it's not every Knick. You know what I mean? It's not Clint Anthony Early and who else we liked back in the day. Iman Shumpert, he got a ring, but he didn't really do much.
Yeah.
We love him.
Yeah.
But he didn't do much. Who else? Jeremy Lin. We liked him. I ain't really like him too much, but
he wasn't really. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lin Sanity, but to me he ain't do much. He trying to get back in the NBA.
Yeah.
So every Knick don't do good. Your favorite Knicks don't do good.
Yeah, but I know, but our problem too is that other than like when we had Shannon Fry and David Lee and them, they did pretty good when they was here. But yeah, it's opportunity. When they came, they had opportunity, and it was really almost like they was with Marbury, but it was only them. So they had to work in a sense. But going back with Rose, I was thinking about the Tibbs is smart. I was thinking about the shot. Like Rose was already out. When it got down the stretch far as for the game-winning shots, because we had like 3 chances at the rim. So I think he was smart to pull Rose, even though I kind of wanted to see Rose in there, but he brought quickly back. And then, of course, Randall got the initial last shot, right, which was a dumb shot. You came out of a timeout, and Randall, that fading away, low percentage shot, like that's what you came up with for a game winner, when you're supposed to be our man. And then, I mean, that's even before the RJ miss, which that point blank range, you just can't even be mad at RJ. The fact that he turned the corner, to go even make a shot like that. But in Randall's case, the shot you even took, to me, was bad as the star of the team and then potential closer. But I think the smart thing that I think Tibbs did so that nobody won't try to second guess him was to leave Rose out. Now, you definitely could have had Rose in there for that, knowing that he can create his own shot and get to the basket. But leaving him out, now it tells everybody I'm not showing favoritism to a degree, right? So now come another game, now we already know, when we're going back and forth and we need that last shot or two, now we already know not only is Rose going to be in there, but the ball's going to be in Rose's hand. So the Knicks could have did themselves well, meaning Randall, RJ and IQ, is to come away with that win. Like show the coach that we know you wanted Rose. This wasn't just no last minute, decision. You wanted Rose, and now Rose is here taking minutes. So if we win this game, we prove that, he's a great player, but yet we can get this done too.
But this definitely showed the tension on the team. Like, I don't care what nobody say. I see the division on the team every time there's a slight change. So just a real quick recap, when Quickly was on the court and you see that young boy run and move the team, and you seen Elfrid Payton and we was complaining about why is he playing like that. As soon as it was a conversation of Quickly made this start over Elfrid played better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they passing each other ball. So now we move forward now, skipping a whole bunch of other details, but now Derrick Rose come. I think these young boys want to run. So now another veteran come and Derrick Rose, and these young boys probably like Derrick Rose here. You see the whole different mentality they all had, and Elfrid Payton now picked it up again. Because I ain't see Elvis Payton do all that
it
all
up.
year.
Look, the last two games.
He's
Done that. He's done that. He just hasn't been consistent.
He done that, but he didn't put his whole. So when he goes to the hole, I don't care what you say. He's going to the hole aggressive, but it's not like up high. He's not using all his jump.
He's going to score though.
He's getting enough to get the finesse layup.
Yeah.
As soon as Derrick Rose get there, he damn near can dunk it on you.
Yeah, but that's what competition's supposed to do. No, I agree with that part, but that's what competition is.
But we want to win.
People need to be pushed.
Yeah, but even if you got to be pushed, you need to be doing that the whole time. And this is where my frustration comes from. I can see it on the court depending on who's on the floor. So now you tell me when D Rose get there, not everybody running and they're actually going.
Nah. But you know what?
He said they're actually going too fast.
Yeah, no, he said Rose was going, and I was going to bring that up. He said Rose was going too fast, and I want to run, but at the same time, Rose, and I guess now with some practice after having those 2 days, he'll get to Obi and them guys that when you see me with the ball, hit them wings, because he was going down, nobody was with him. That dunk that he gave Obi, that was almost pretty much in like a half court type of a setting, and Obi just cut to the basket, which I like because most guys they would have ran to the 3-point line. But yeah, so they'll pick that up and they'll run with Rose, So I wasn't mad at that, but no, they wasn't all. Rose had to slow down.
Yeah, Rose had to slow down, but that showed you right there that. Remember how we like break out to the wings? Like they'll just stand there looking crazy.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Rose wanted to run, like no run.
Yeah,
he was on the court telling them go, like.
But they'll get to that with some practice because you condition to do what you've been doing in your mind. So, which I don't understand that part neither with the Knicks because they're young. All right, but to me though that's a good addition. All right, so let's look at this, right? Like to me, Knicks, please, to me, and really to management because we know where Tibbs stand. Make this serious run for the playoffs. Not just the playoffs, but playoff positioning. Because as it stands right now, this just shows how much one game can do for you. We sit in the 10th seed, right? One game from 9. Actually, one game from 6. 2 games from 5. 3.5 games from 4. From 4th place. So that's just how one good run, 1 5, 6, 7 game winning streak can have you in the top half of it can have you within 4 and 5. A nice 10 or 10 out of 12, 10 out of 13. A run like that could possibly have you and you're not going to get to 3rd and stay, but 4th on down. But my goal is 6. Hopefully, if you can get to the 5th, you know what I'm saying, and 4th and 5th play each other, at least your first round is not against a powerhouse. But I mean, a good run puts you in a position to, even if you lose a few games here and there, you still okay. And I think, too, with the Knicks now, they are making of course, we're going to know they're going to make another move. And they're making another run at another player. And I say, go for it. I say, do whatever it is you have to do to get us into a nice playoff positioning because you're not going to hurt, which everybody's problem with that was building for the future. You're not going to hurt the future of the Knicks because Mitch, IQ, and RJ at least are going to be a part of that mix. Like there's going to be minutes for them on this team. So you'll be a part of a winning culture and getting to the playoffs. Not just that we're bringing in all these other players, but we do need a little bit more to get it done. If we can be consistent, fine, we can roll what we got. But I say make that other move, another scoring move, not just a guy who might can hit a shot, a guy like Rose who can get you some buckets because the youth is protected. And then we also got to, think about too, where are we going when we keep talking about the youth? Because we all want the young players. And that's all we seem to have been drafting the past how many years. So at some point, are we going to just keep relying on the next youth draft coming in? Or are we going to really start building a winning culture with the youth that we got? And then, and that's just like my take now because, it's game time right now. And, okay, you're not in a position to win a championship, but you're in a position to build a culture of winning that can sustain you for how long, how long can this go on? When the Knicks took off with Patrick Ewing and back in the day, first 2 or 3 years, they wasn't going nowhere. 20 wins, 23 wins. And then all of a sudden, it clicked. And it took a coach like that to click. And then they went on that run. It's like a dynasty without a championship. Give or take the early 90s, that 1 year before we got Pat Riley. So I think we had Stu Jackson. But you go on that kind of run where at least you're playing for a championship every year. And right now, the foundation, to me, got to be set now because you can smell it. You can see it. We all want the great player in the draft. But at what point is it to miss out on a great player in the draft because of your draft positioning? That's one thing. But to miss out because you overlooking a player. See, now that's a whole nother ball game. So we got to start building on them young players that we got and that we fell in love with. Because I remember I wanted Donovan Mitchell when he came out. I'm talking about the thing where Rick Pitino was saying. And then, of course, I wanted Michael Porter Jr. Even though he was hurt, I said, this guy going to be a stud in this league. And everybody knew that, but he kept getting hurt. So it's like, we're passing over these guys. So you're not guaranteed, unless you get a number 1 pick, and you ain't guaranteed that even if you have the worst record. We already proved that. So I think the Knicks now make that run.
Yeah, we one big man and one shooter away from being in the playoffs. That's it.
It's not even a big man. It's a low post.
We won,
a low post person you can throw the ball into.
Yeah, we just one player away and one shooter away from.
But it's at the right position.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a Zach LaVine don't hurt, but what are you gonna have to give it for him?
He ain't the answer to me.
I'm talking about, but he don't hurt. It depends on what you got to give up. Like now, it's almost looking like if we can keep Randall and add somebody else, like Derrick Rose we got. Like you could have went and got Tyson Chandler in. You could have went and got.
Listen, if we could get
why didn't you pick up Tyson Chandler if you knew he got a ring? He knows.
Yeah, but we need a big that we can throw. That's pretty much what we already got. We need a big that we can throw the ball into and they get a bucket. Now, at some point we think Obi can be that, but we need a guy, and maybe the only position that's left to put a person like that and keep Randall and Obi playing is at the 3. A 3 who, and I like Bullock, but we know he's not consistent. But a 3 who is deadly, like a 3 who can get it inside and out.
I'm talking about like 3.
Listen,
I'm
talking about what just might be available that you could maneuver, and I know nobody else probably like that pick, but I keep saying right now, 3 that will be consistent in our system would be Jabari Parker.
Yeah,
a low maintenance 3 who can shoot, who can post, who can run the floor. He fills all the boxes of a consistent player that we would need because we're not asking him to carry the load. We saying that when opportunity comes and when he get the ball in his hand, he can hit an open shot. He can shoot off the dribble. He can create his own shot going to the hole. You know what I'm saying? He can run the floor. Like he's not a superstar. Well, he probably was supposed to be, but he fills the boxes.
So like question, because I know Jabari Parker and D Rose, didn't they play together? Did something not work, and that's the reason why they split it up?
No, I don't think he was in Chicago. He wasn't. No, D Rose was gone.
D Rose was
gone.
Jabari,
yeah. Jabari was with the Greek Freak in the early years.
I mean Jabari, but that's the kind of player I'm thinking of, like somebody that
Listen,
can really, if they get the ball in their hand, they already look like
and the first thing is though is that they have to be able to shoot. That's the first, because the others we got guys now, and by adding Rose, you just added to what Burt and IQ and RJ and them could do, like getting to the hole. So you need a guy first foremost that can shoot and knock down a shot in whichever situation he's in. And then the others, intangibles that person bring. And then to it, and you want to go even further, then go out and get a real stud, because you can still try to pry, but then you're going to be hurting Obi if you did that. A stretch 4, which is what we probably needed in the beginning. But now, with Randall, unless you're going to do something drastic, which I don't want to see nothing drastic with Randall right now, because that would throw off the chemistry, because he has the ball so much. Once you trade him, then now you almost got to start from scratch, because the offense runs through him.
I think depending on who that person is, yeah.
Well,
because I think the problem right now is that all the players we have kind of want the ball in their hand, and Randall takes up some of that time.
Yeah.
So now those players that want the ball in their hand, they sacrifice it for Randall.
Yeah, but it's one.
So if you bring in somebody that don't really need the ball in their hand, but will get theirs off.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why too. I was saying Parker, but now too, you gotta be careful what you ask for, because you could want the ball all the time. If you're not used to getting it in the NBA, that's a totally different thing. Totally different animal. So yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, okay, everybody want it, but now if you have it as much as Randall has it, what you gonna do with it?
So what I'm saying, so like RJ, he clearly want the ball, but he'll give it up to a degree. Clearly, he's the point guard, so he's gonna have the ball regardless. He'll get his 30 points if he's gonna sit there and just jack up his shots all day. Obi, he really not put in a position yet to have the ball all the time. But
I like the way he asked for it.
Yeah, so if he asked for it and he's getting it where he getting it, he's probably cool with that. He's a rookie. He's cool with that.
Well, you know, Derek was the first one since the first game to throw Obi the ball in the post, and Obi was like really calling for it. You know, so now some of that dinner, I guess, that Derek had with Obi and IQ, I guess Derek had to show, you know, I told you I'm gonna look out for you, I'm gonna help you. So now you open, I gotta give it to you.
You know what I like about Derrick Rose too? Because he said I'm here. He said I'm coming here to actually assist with these young core. And when he's on the court at the 3-point line, and I wish we had like a screen, Derrick Rose is up with his hands up, ready for the ball at all times. I want all of them to take that.
Yeah.
Like, he is probably the biggest star we have on the Knicks, technically, that we have.
He is.
Yeah, so he is still in the corner, humble. Like, if they throw me the ball, I'm going to be ready for it. And he's all the way in the corner.
And that's going to change, which to Derek's credit, you trying to do the right thing. You trying to fit in. You see the Knicks were doing well before you got here, so you can't come in, you know, pounding on your chest as the savior, but you can come in and slowly ease the team into your way of thinking. You know, so I'm happy with it. We still got time for this to play out. You know what I'm saying, and gel. But consistency from like Bert, Bullock, that will go a long way for us. I think Derek is gonna be the one to help unlock Obi. You know, because Obi will run when you see Derek with the ball. And then when he's posting up, we know Derek is going to look his way, which now will give other guys a chance to look his way. And hopefully in practice, those are the things that they're working on. But, you know, I want to win with the youth, but they don't have to be the reason why we win. I just want them in the game, getting experience, getting opportunity, and being a part of it. Like, you got to have veterans anyway. You know, so you're not sacrificing anything.
Are you being scared? So that's one thing.
Right. So we don't have to say all 5 guys and 3 off the bench got to be young. That's not how you win in the NBA. Your young guys got to grow. I mean, let's look at this. Kuzma, right? He had to take a back seat now with the Lakers. Now, if they don't trade him, watch how good he'll be in a year or two when LeBron is gone. You know what I'm saying? Because he's playing. He was already doing it before LeBron got there. So, and he's playing now. He's also learning. So if they don't trade him, look what they got. Look what they got for the future, with or without AD. Look what they have.
Yeah, I don't even know Laker fans they want to trade him so bad. I'm like,
nah, they don't want to trade him, but it's like he's valuable because LeBron, you're not getting all the minutes at the 3. They can find some minutes for you at the 2. So, you know what you're gonna do with a guy like that. But you got to keep them. You got to keep them young, fresh legs. You know. So I don't have much really I wanted to talk about today, other than, you know, Derrick Rose and then this youth movement and how it now does it benefit us. You know, because now it's not just about now our youth is a part of the mix. You know, these grown men growing as the league goes on. So I think the Knicks gonna make a run. This upcoming schedule looks, you know, it's good test. But I think once we find that stride, the Knicks are going to go on a nice run and just like solidify a nice spot in that mid, you know, 5 and 6 range and stay there. You know, so that's just my belief, you know. So y'all tell me what y'all think, you know. But for me today, I'm out.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Like, comment, subscribe. Like again if you could.
There you go. Peace.
Peace.